You know, every single time you hop online, your device uses a kind of secret address to talk to the rest of the world. It's called an IP address. And honestly, it's the hidden engine of the internet. So for the next few minutes, we're going to break it all down, what it is, how it works, and yeah, how you can find your own. Let's dive in.
I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about it? How does your phone, right here, find one specific website among literally billions of other connected devices? It feels like magic, right? But behind the curtain, there's a really clever system making sure every little piece of data gets to exactly where it needs to go. So, what's the secret? All right, here's the game plan. We're going to tackle this in 4 quick parts. First up, we'll start with the big picture idea, what an IP address even is. Then we'll zoom right in and look at its anatomy, how it's actually built. After that, we'll uncover a really surprising fact. Your address can actually change. And finally, we'll get our hands dirty and put it all into practice. Okay, let's kick things off with the most important concept of all. And you don't need to be a network wizard to get this. You just need to understand how regular, old-fashioned mail works. Seriously. Okay, so picture this. You're sending a letter, right? You have to write a very specific address on that envelope so the Postal Service knows where to deliver it. Well, the internet works pretty much the same way. When you want to visit a website, your computer sends out a request, and it slaps its own IP address on there, kind of like a return address. So the website server, which could be halfway across the world, knows exactly where to send back all that information. And here's the mind-blowing part. Every single device connected to the internet, your phone, your laptop, even those huge servers that run your favorite apps, each one has one of these unique numerical addresses. Without it, they'd be totally lost, like a house with no street address, completely unreachable. Now, you might have heard people throw around terms like IPv4 and IPv6. Don't let it confuse you. Just think of IPv6 as the next generation system, built for a world where, everything from your fridge to your watch is online. But for today, to really get how the internet works right now, we're going to focus on IPv4. It's still the backbone of almost everything we do. Okay, so we've established it's an address, but what does one of these things actually, look like? Let's pop the hood and break down the numbers to see what they're made of. An IPv4 address always, and I mean always, follows this exact 4-part structure. It's 4 numbers, each separated by a dot. And, in the tech world, each of these parts has a nickname, an octet. Okay, lean in, because this is the golden rule. If you remember just one thing from this, make it this. Each of those 4 numbers must be a number between 0 and 255. Not higher, not lower. That's it. That's the entire range. So let's do a quick check. You see a number like 192? Totally fine. A 0? Yep, that works too. 255? That's the absolute maximum, so it's good to go. But the second you see a 256 or 345 or a negative number, nope. You know immediately that's not a valid IPv4 address. And hey, for those of you who are a little more technically curious, there's a reason for this 0 to 255 rule. Underneath it all, an IPv4 address is really just a 32-bit binary number. We just write it out this way with dots and decimals, so we humans don't go crazy trying to read it. All right, so every device has an address. You'd think it's permanent, right? Like tattooed onto the device forever? Well, surprisingly, that's not the case at all. And the reason why tells us something really fundamental about how the internet is designed. And this is where it gets really interesting. Your device does have a permanent, unchangeable hardware address. That's a different thing. But its IP address is what we call logical. All that means is it's not set in stone. It's more like a temporary name tag that gets assigned to your device depending on what network you're connected to at that very moment. The best way to think about this is like you're traveling. Let's say your laptop is at home connected to your network in New Delhi. It gets a specific IP address that works there. But then you pack it up, head to a coffee shop in Chennai, and connect to their Wi-Fi. Your laptop needs a brand new IP address to work on that network. The computer is the same, but its address changes based on its location. That's what makes it logical. Okay, enough theory. Let's make this real. It's time to actually find your own IP address and see all these rules in action for yourself. So, you ready to do this? To find your own? It's way easier than you might think. Let's just walk through the steps together. Okay, so if you're on a Windows machine, this is for you. First, pop open your Start menu and just type CMD. Hit enter. This little black window called the command prompt will appear. In there, just type ipconfig, that's ipconfig, and hit enter one more time. You'll see a bunch of text, but look for the line that says IPv4 address, and boom, right there is your computer's current IP on your network. All right, pop quiz time. Let's put that new knowledge of yours to the test. Based on everything we just covered, think you can spot the real IP addresses from the fakes on this list? Go ahead and take a look. You can even pause if you want to really think about it. Ready? Okay, let's go through them. Address A? Yep, that's a winner. 4 parts, all numbers in the right range. B? Oh, see that 256 at the end? That breaks our golden rule. Invalid. C and D? They might look strange, but they're both totally valid. 0 is the minimum and 255 is the maximum. E is just a disaster. It's got 5 parts and some numbers are way too high. And F? Invalid, because you can't have letters in an IPv4 address. How do you do? All right, so let's wrap this all up in a neat little bow. An IP address is basically your device's mailing address for the internet. A standard one, IPv4, is made of 4 numbers, and each one has to be between 0 and 255. Remember, it's not permanent, it's a logical address that changes when you change networks. And now you know how to find your own with a super simple command. And that leaves us with one last big idea to chew on. Since your IP address is tied to your network, it's also tied to your general physical location. So what does that actually mean for your privacy online? It's a pretty big deal. It's the foundation for everything from geo-targeted ads to those annoying content restrictions. Something to think about the next time you connect. Thanks for joining me on this one.